certainly not least,
Moving on to
February 12th.
Strikeforce World Grand Prix Heavyweight Tournament. Everybody's like, wow, ooh, ah, but the big thing is, it is going to be the return of Fedor.
And this is Fedor after a loss. Now,
Yes.
everything I've ever read about Fedor is he never really took the mixed martial arts stuff serious. It was just for money.
Mm-hmm.
He takes all the Sambo stuff. He's like, that's just what I'm reading. It could be wrong. I'm sure one of Fedor's relatives will chime in here, or one of the nut huggers or fanboys or whatever, and tell me I'm wrong. Don't give a fuck.
Fedor is probably mad that he lost.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Here's his first legitimate loss.
Yeah. He got a legitimate loss to a guy, Fabricio Verdun, which, in my opinion, anybody who fights MMA is an incredible fighter. So, but still, George and I still talk shit, and just hope that we never run into.
It's not even shit talking. And let's be serious.
But the bottom line is
Fabricio Verdun's in no one's top 5.
Right. He's in
not
no
even
one's
after
top
beating
five.
Fedor.
And Fedor went home, said, "Fuck, I lost to this motherfucker." Probably killed a couple fists of vodka and beat up his little brother,
and then
went
wrestled
back
some
to training.
Grizzlies.
Yeah, wrestled Grizzlies, and he hung out with his wife and his little girl, and is pissed. So he's had fucking months for this shit to brew up and just say, I'm gonna start breaking motherfuckers' arms.
And we'll find out, because let's face it, Fedor, I don't want to say made a living off fighting freak show guys, but he did. He fought guys who were just abnormally large, big and fat. Mm-hmm. Well, he's fighting another one, Antonio Bigfoot Silva. And I'll be the first to tell you can watch the flip cam video, Antonio Bigfoot Silva is getting better.
He is getting better.
Fedor cannot go in here and underestimate this cat.
Okay.
Can't do it.
Nope, he can't. Before we keep going on about Fedor, we're going to talk about the whole tournament, I guess, because there are other fighters in it. Actually, 7 more other heavyweight fighters, and they're all some bad mother. Shut your mouth. Fedor is going to. I could do Shaft too.
It looks like this is going to be set up in what, 1, 2, 3, 4 events?
It's going to be two events. You're going to have.
I'm talking about the whole thing, because you're going to have one event with these 2 fights, another event with those 2 fights. So that's 2 events. There's the 3rd event. There's the 4th event.
Oh yeah. A total of 4 events. But the first 2 quarterfinal fights are going to happen on different dates. The first 2 quarterfinal fights are going to be Fedor and Silva, and then Arlovsky versus Kharitonov.
He's also doubles as a bodyguard for the Nets owner.
Kharitonov. Anyway, he's got a nasty record.
I have Arlovsky losing and Fedor winning. So that means Kharitonov and Fedor to advance in the top part of the bracket.
Yeah, that's the bracket. Side. You see the bracket is right behind us. I think Fedor will win. I think Fedor will advance, and I don't think Arlovsky's going to get past Kharitonov. Anyway,
now
the next one
to the bottom of the bracket.
Alistair Overeem will be versing
Fabricio. He said
will
be facing, fighting, stepping into the octagon,
battling Fabricio Verdun. Who we were talking about because he just got Fedor.
Right.
Now, what do you think?
Overeem's going to beat the piss out of him.
Let me tell you something, man. Overeem is not the little boy, honestly, that he fought when Liddell beat him, when actually Kharitonov beat him. He's had a lot of losses on his record, Overeem has, because he started fighting young, him and his brother, but he's a much different fighter. A much different fighter now than he was even 2 or 3 years ago. He just, in his last few fights, he looks unstoppable. Now, on the other side is going to be Josh Barnett versus Brett Rogers. You know me.
Brett Rogers has looked horrible in his last 2 fights.
Brett Rogers, I don't think is really. I'm telling you, Josh Barnett is nasty. I think I'm right away. I'm going to go with Josh Barnett, man. I could honestly, you guys might think I'm crazy. I could see Josh Barnett winning this whole fucking tournament. Everybody be like, "Oh man, motherfucker, you done gone crazy." And I'm just saying.
And I know somebody out there just caught what I said when I said Brett Rogers just looked horrible in his last 2 fights. I apologize. His last fight. Because it is 2 fights ago he was fighting Fedor.
Yeah.
And he lost.
And he actually looked good against Fedor for a while.
And then I swear to God, at one point he turned his head when he fought Overeem. Like he was trying to get out of the ring.
He was just like...
So, unless Brett Rogers has been training really hard, I think I got Barnett beating him.
Yeah, Overeem is just a big-ass guy. When you saw him when he fought. Todd Duffy is big, and he made Todd Duffy look like an enemy.
What do you think of having a potential Fedor and Overeem semifinal matchup? Doesn't that seem like that should be the final?
I look at the right side of this bracket, which...
Weak sauce.
Huh?
Weak. I'm not taking anything away from these guys, but what if you just take Arlovsky and Overeem and swap them? Just switch Arlovsky and Overeem.
Yeah.
I want to know why it's set up the way it is. This shit doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense to any other MMA fan in the world.
It doesn't.
No one wants to watch Fedor and Overeem in a semifinal.
But if you look at the guys who have been proving themselves as of recent, all on the left side of the bracket. Fedor's proven. I mean, he's the greatest heavyweight of all time. Antonio Silva's fighting nasty right now. Alistair Overeem's going through everybody right now. And Fabricio Verdum, it just beat Fedor. All these guys on the left-hand side of the bracket.
Orlovsky's got 3 fights. Rogers has lost his last 2 fights. Barnett's hot off a fucking drug suspension. And Cutter Tinkoff, whatever.
Tinkoff, man.
Tinkoff, whatever.
Oh,
that cat.
You know, that right there got you about 500 negative comments from Keyboard Cowboys. You ain't even going to be able to keep up with
Do
this
they
shit.
even have the internet in Russia?
See? You're going to get a bottle of vodka bust upside your head.
Anyway.
Let us know what you guys think about the bracket, about the heavyweight tournament that Strikeforce will be putting on starting February 12th. Leave your comments below. It's a form. No, it's not the fight. Get off the fight kick. We're not posting fights on YouTube. Nobody can post fights on YouTube, guys. Come on, man. Seriously. We will get kicked off of YouTube fast. I don't understand how guys don't understand that shit. You know? What the fuck? I'm out.